Hey everybody, it's Jay. Today I'm doing a little bit of a different type of a video here. This is what we're going to call a show and tell, which is basically a first look, first impressions, not a full review because we haven't really had a chance to really play with it or shoot it or get trigger time with it depending on what the item is. But this is actually here is an item that you guys recommended I check out back on my microdot video. This is the Holosun ACSS. So this is the Holosun with the ACSS reticle, which is primary arms, one of their reticle designs from what I understand. And it's actually designed that I really like. Now I bought this along with this Arsenal SM-13K mount. It doesn't sit as low as something like an RS Regulate with a micro mount would, but it still sits plenty low enough to be usable. You can still use your cheek weld and all that stuff. You can still use the stock. You're not getting really a chin weld with it, at least on this 104 UR. Speaking of the 104 UR, the reason why I bought this Holosun with the ACSS reticle is because after playing with Misha's Cobra, don't take that the wrong way, his Cobra red dot sight that he had on his 104, I realized that I really did want to put an optic on my 104, and you have to have something that will clear the Krink style sights. So this very tall rear sight, these ears here. A lot of optics mounts will interfere with that, and you'll either have to buy one dedicated for it, or you'll have to machine it off yourself. My dogs are in there fighting. And not really fighting, play fighting, and growling and snarling and running around a lot. There it is. Yep, you heard it. Anyway, this SLR 104 is a carbine. Carbine is an accepted pronunciation in American English, so do not correct me on it in the comments. Thank you. And that Cobra looks really cool, but as you probably know from the Russian Optics video, I don't really like it that much. I don't find it particularly usable. And if you want more details on that, go check that video out. But this Holosun has a chevron, it has a horseshoe, and it has bullet drop compensators. I'll go ahead and throw up a little bit of a little image up here so you can see it. It's not real easy to pick up on camera, especially with all this ambient light and everything. It's pretty difficult to get a really clear picture, and anything I do won't give it justice anyway. But this optic is really clear. This red dot is very clear. I'm really early initial impressions with it. I'm really impressed with it. It doesn't really have much of any tinting. A little bit of green, but it really disappears when you're out in natural daylight. And the dot, the reticle itself is really sharp. And of course, I like being able to have the chevron for longer range, the horseshoe for close range, and then some form of bullet drop compensation with the little hash marks that they give you on the reticle itself. I'll throw it over to some shooting real quick. Again, I was just shooting close range, and I really just want to see how it would hold up under some mag dump conditions. So I'll show that real quick and then cut back to a few more features.
104 UR.
So this Holosun red dot so far is working really well. It's very clear. Really like the chevron on it. And weirdly enough, it seems to be pretty close already out of the box.
I think it's awesome too.
So held up just fine with the shooting part. Even this mount, even though I didn't have it tightened down all the way, didn't really shift around at all. I ended up putting about 300 rounds through it altogether. So, not a ton of testing, but, enough to give it an idea if it was going to hold up in the short term or not. But again, this isn't really a full review, just a preview. So another thing that I really like about this is these adjustment caps are super slim. Look at this. You see they actually kind of blend in almost with the body of the red dot. A lot of them stick up quite a ways. This one doesn't. They're super slim. And likewise, the cap for the battery compartment, I don't really see how they could make it any slimmer, if I'm being honest. So none of this, regardless of whether you've got both eyes open or one eye open, none of these really interfere with your vision, so you end up with a very open field of view, even though you've got a tubular, closed body style red dot. So that's pretty cool, and that definitely has a significant advantage over the Cobra. It has some other cool features like an auto shutoff. So if you have it turned on, after 10 minutes with no movement, it'll turn itself off. Now the cool thing about that is if it picks up on any movement, it'll automatically turn itself back on. So if you just want to leave it on your firearm at all times just turned on, knowing that any jostle will basically turn it back on, you certainly can, and it helps preserve your battery life so you're not having to leave it on full blast all the time. It has 10 brightness settings, it is NVG compatible, and like I said, I really like the reticle. The reticle is really sharp, it's just a nice clear optic, nice clear glass on it. And so I'm suitably impressed with it so far. So I'll keep putting some rounds on it, but again, just wanted to share it really quickly, show it off, and give my initial impressions with it, because again, I know a lot of you guys suggested it in the comments on my microdot video, and I checked it out, and I like it, so appreciate the recommendation there. So if you have any comments, please post them in the comments below. If you like this video, please click like, and be sure to subscribe to us so you can check out our backlog. We do a lot of much longer history type videos and all that stuff. And if you're interested in helping us get to the range more often, please be sure to go out and check out our Patreon page. This is Jay, and I will catch you again soon next time.